was just having an old man moment in Longs, or old man with black lipstick and raccoon eye paint on. But I used to like to, when I would go in a store, and it was a luxury, you just go in with the money, you pick out the thing you want, and you just make an exchange with the person behind the counter. It was great. It was like I did that for many years, and now it feels like from like the last 5, it's go to the register and answer like a battery of questions. There's science fiction right there. You know what about these? Some of their mission patches are so blatant. I'm not gonna get into that rabbit hole, but yeah, now it's like it's a list of questions you got to answer to go through. I'm just trying to buy a bag of popcorn and an iced coffee, and these ladies in front of me, well, they were shopping from the counter too, which is kind of a pain in the ass. This is another new phenomenon that never used to apply back in the day. Is what people do is when they get up to the counter, they engage the employee, but they still keep shopping. You know, it's even more egregious when there's one of them, but usually there's a couple, and like one will go keep getting stuff to bring, and in this case it's like the exchange is done between one of them, but then one of the other ladies comes up and just to do a new sale with this woman. So, and I'm standing there with my shit. It's basically, it's a way to just keep cutting in line. But at least there's 2 of them. This happens a lot with one person, where they get up there, they start paying for stuff, and then they just go wander off and start looking at shirts or something. It's like, what the fuck? But anyway, while I'm doing my old man rant here, they make you answer these questions. They want your phone number, and I don't really care, because the thing is, when you shop at all these places, if you see like a price on something, it's like, oh, $5.99, but that's with the phone number. If you don't put your phone number in, you don't get that price. It's like $1 more or something. So everything that's priced in the store is priced with the caveat that you got to put your phone number in. And then occasionally, like, they'll give you like some kind of rebate or they're always like, oh, you got $1 here. It's like, great. I mean, I don't know how that goes. I think you have to just keep a file on it. I'm not going to do that. If it was a cool, easy thing, like maybe they had an app you could go to, or maybe they do, I don't know. But if I took advantage of that, I'd probably save a lot of money, because I spend a lot of time there. That's on me, though. But yeah, this thing about, do you want to give to this charity or that charity? And these charities, the money's not going to what they're saying, So you got to go through all that. Got to put your number in. And it's beyond that, though. There's more stuff that's like, it's kind of mental. It changes every once in a while. There'll be a new thing that'll come in there that they'll start asking you, But it's always like 5 minutes. And then the lady in front of me, or the ladies in front of me, they were like giving her email, because she needed her email to get her membership, because when you put your number in, they kind of enroll you in this, like, I guess a membership type thing, or whatever it is, so that they can give you discounts. It's all bullshit. But there's one question the first question that always comes up is, you get a red for no and a green for yes. And you have to push the green, or else the sale doesn't happen. And what it says is, it talks about scams, or like, I never read the whole thing, but basically it's saying consumer protection wants to make sure you know that you're getting what you paid for and everything. Or, does everything seem like on the up and up? Bizarre, right? And that's the first one of any transaction. Then it's please enter your phone number. You know, there's a little thing there on the counter that you're doing all this shit with. I'm trying to buy popcorn. So I usually blow through this stuff, and then they'll ask you, would you like any money back? So sometimes in my fucking anger, answering all these questions like I'm applying to work for fucking NASA, which I guess wouldn't take much to work for NASA because they don't do anything but make space videos. But so you're going through this whole thing, and it asks you if you want cash back. I never want cash back out of, you know, if I'm using a card. But sometimes I get so frustrated by pushing through all the buttons. I did that last week. I'm just pissed because I got to jam through. Would you like to give to this? Would you like to do that? Are you being scammed? All this bop, 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 bop. Do you want $10? Bop, bop. So she rings it up. I'm like, that was $60. And she hands me a 20. And I'm like, what is this for? And the girl's like, I don't know. And I'm like, why did I get this? And she's like, I don't know, they just gave it to me. That's the kind that, you know, that's, God love them here, you know, God love them. So later I looked at the receipt and I realized what had happened. But man, this fucking, I'm just buying popcorn, man. Never mind my battery of applicant questions that I have to answer to buy my popcorn. But the ladies in front of me were having a real hard time with it, and they couldn't retrieve her number. So now they're looking for it through her email, and she's trying to relate to the poor girl behind the counter who, and God love them, and she's like trying to spell her email, you know, like, oh no, it's a Lori with the U, L-A-U, and they're going through this whole fucking thing. And I was just like, am I just old? Is that what it is? Has this kind of thing passed me by? I don't care. But, like, am I the only one bothered by all this shit? Like, how about just going in, handing the money to the person. The person says, okay, you have the proper amount here. Or maybe even, you know, whatever, here's change. And then you're on your way. I mean, that was great. I mean, I liked those days, you know. I miss them. I also miss being able to communicate with people. I seem to have a hard time communicating with people at these places, you know. I don't know. I guess when you get used to a thing for a long time, it's hard to adjust. I've been here like 8 years. Something like that. And if you have to go to a counter for anything, like a doctor's office or whatever it is, that counter right there for whatever that they do there, you really need a lot of patience. I always go in too with like a good attitude. Hey, how you doing? You know, happy guy. And I know those jobs are soul sucking, man. Like, I'm not like getting on them for that. It's not even their fault. It's just there's something weird around here. This is a weird place as far as vibe wise. And I had a friend that was saying this too. She feels like there's a spell kind of in this area, or there's some kind of, I don't know, spell, I guess is all, you know. It sounds silly when you use words like that, but that's because you're supposed to feel silly when you use words like that, because they don't want you using words like that, you know. So yeah, because everyone's kind of has sort of a trance like thing going on. You'll go into a store and just find a guy staring at peanut butter for 10 minutes. I thought it was me, but then I start talking about people, talking to people, and they're like, yeah, it's the heat or something. It just slows people's brains down, you know. I mean, I don't know what it's like on the rest of the island. I've only visited areas. Like, I live in a tourist area, but sometimes, man, it's weird. It's like when they get off the plane or the bus, it's like there's a fucking cartoon rabbit that hits everyone in the head with a hammer. Or it feels that way. because I'm like, how can so many different people from all around the world, you know, there's 10 million people come through here a year, come through this neighborhood, and they all seem mildly retarded. And you know, interacting with them at stores or trying to walk among them or stuff, and I was like, what is going on here? And that's when my friend proposed the idea, and she's kind of hip to this sort of stuff, that there was some kind of spell here, or some just in this area. And it would make sense, I guess, because they're all, what it all is really, it's an exercise in sucking loose. You know what I mean? Like you're taking energy from people. And there are areas, and this is all around the world, significant places where, like even shopping areas, they run along ley line systems. I don't know what the ley line layout is. I used to study it years ago. But things get so crazy that it's like you don't even need to tie why things happen to stuff like ley lines. But on the ley lines, they do place significant things that it's almost like a collection area for loosh or energy. So I don't know if it's something like that here, but it's just kind of bizarre. You know, the behavior of some people. It's like people generally even have a hard time just walking, you know. And I've been walking for, I don't know, 48 years, something like that. Maybe even 49. Okay, don't blame the teacher, blame the school.